getting the day started. No, just go ahead and put it in your room. Clean up your room. And I'll go ahead and after lunch, I'll hang it up. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today is Tuesday the 20th and got a lot of eBay orders to go out. I'm going to get these out to the post office. And then I got a bunch of cleaning up to do, and I clean up every day. I don't know why I keep saying I got a lot of cleaning up to do. It's always a mess. It's always I can get the office cleaned, and then the next day it's completely back. It's an every single day thing. I guess it keeps me busy. So in today's video, I think what I'm going to do is talk about remember your why. Those three words. Remember your why. Why are you an eBay seller? Why are you an entrepreneur or own your own business or own your own small business? And throughout this video, I'm going to give you reasons why, what my why is, right? I've established my why, and I'll give you a little story of how I came about remember your why. So that's kind of what I want to focus on today is remember your why, and we'll go from there. So if you can, hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the like button and subscribe. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Again, my name is Eric. I am in Ohio. I sell on eBay, and to support my family, I sell media, I sell books, a little bit of everything. I have 2 eBay stores. I have 11 kids. Yeah, I have 11 kids. And so anyways, yeah, let's go. Remember your why. That's the topic today. Let's go. First agenda of the day, though, is my AirPods are not connecting to my phone. Apple says that it's out of warranty and they need to be replaced, and I think it's like $100 or something like that. So I looked on eBay, and the AirPods Pro 2 really don't hold up for their value. I think it's like $80 used working condition. They did work with my last phone, and they work really good. So I don't know. I'm gonna do some looking and see, but I think it's time to let these go. All right, so just got to the post office. Gonna go ahead and drop this off, and then I'm gonna head to pickup, where I'm picking up a bunch of video games, some DVDs, some VHS tapes. They're all 50 cents a piece. Let's go. All right, so story time. I know it's cold outside, but like people are honking because people won't move up at the post office. I don't know. Life's too short to be honking. But anyway, so a little bit of history about me while we're going to pick up these video games and such. So since high school, I've always been in sales. And I went from this sales job to that sales job to this sales job. And to be honest with you, not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good at sales. And so I we moved to Texas, and I started with a startup company, dealership, that eventually became competition with Carvana. We were the first 2 dealerships to where you could buy a car from your phone, have it delivered for free, and if you had a trade-in, we would pick up your used car, all that. So we had some big investors, big football celebrities. I can't think of the guy's name right now. That was one of the investors. But anyways, long story short with that, it was a good job. It was stressful. It was busy. I was on my feet a lot. It was a hustle. Any car dealership or any car salesman would know that, it's a tough spot, right? So worked my way up from hourly to salary. Salary, comes with unlimited hours, right? So you could put in 60 hours, but you're getting paid the same amount. So I ended up taking my work home, and I ended up working later, next thing you know, it's like I'm working 65 hours a week, and it's like, you know, you ask my wife certain memories about my kids, or ask, if she were to ask me, like, hey, do you remember when, you know, Hannah did this? I'm like, no, because I was gone all the time. I was gone working it. You know, in Texas, if you didn't leave the house at a certain time to get to the job, the dealership, then you would be in bumper to bumper traffic. I mean, you're talking like 30, 40 minutes to go 10 miles. It was crazy. So I would leave an hour early, get to work, you know, get everything I needed done there. Usually stay like an hour late. Then it would take me an hour time to get home. And it was all the time. And then it started to, you know, they gave us laptops to bring home. And so I was generating leads and following up on trying to get number one salesmen and all this stuff like that. And, you know, it's just like you're spending all this time away from your family, and it's like, why am I doing this? So long story short, the company ended up going under. Well, we were sold out to another company, and things changed, and it just didn't work out. And most of the employees, you know, my friends and colleagues, you know, we went from being paid salary to being paid 100% commission. So going from paycheck to nothing right off the bat, like, it was a struggle. And so there was a dispute that happened that I'm not going to go into on here, and I ended up just walking away. I just was like, I'm done. This is going on far too much. So I left. Now, I had been listing on eBay on and off. In Texas, I was listing more on Marketplace and OfferUp and 5 Mile, all those apps, more than I was on eBay, because in Texas, I lived right in the DFW area. I mean, I could literally go to a thrift store, buy a handful of stuff, list it on Marketplace, and almost be sold that day or the next day, because there's just so many people that can buy, you know, you have so many eyeballs. But anyways, sharing a 2-car garage, put up some shelves, and I said, I'm gonna do this eBay full time, and got the blessing from my wife, and we tackled it, you know. And the dealership that I worked at, I ended up becoming friends with a lot of the employees, a lot of my coworkers, and one of the guys worked in the parts department with Napa, and Napa ended up, you know, I don't know what it's called, liquidating their inventory. So I ended up getting a ton of their auto parts stuff. So I started selling that and books. And at the time, my father-in-law in Ohio, so we're in Texas, my father-in-law's in Ohio, and at the time, he's selling books strictly on Amazon. And I'm like, you know, there's no money in books. So he comes to visit us and starts, you know, showing me what he's doing, and I got really interested. I'm like, wow, that's some like crazy profit margins on books. And at the time, he was buying them from like government deals, auctions. You know, he would go to like Illinois, go to a college, buy out the college, the library, things like that. And so we're talking a lot of books. And he recently got an office, a warehouse, and he asked me if I, you know, if we ever came back to Ohio, you know, there's room for me there, and, you know, I could share the space. So fast forward, you know, 3 or 4 years, you know, that's what we did. We sold and listed books out of that warehouse. I became really, really close to my father-in-law. Kind of going off on a little tangent here, but the story, you know, just trying to bring context to everything. So got really, really close to my father-in-law, and I would say January 2020 maybe, shortly after the COVID pandemic year, my father-in-law was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma cancer, which ended up taking his life. He was a first responder, not official full responder, but first responder, but he was at the site in Ground Zero on 9/11, helping restore communications with mobile and things like that, so the firefighters and EMS and everybody can communicate. And so you pretty much help restore communication in Ground Zero. So he died from the cancer. So I took over 90% of the inventory, the book business, and I've been full-time ever since. There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of stress. I've moved now 3 offices, and learning every day something new. And but the whole point of all the story is, I remember we bought our house in Ohio that we were renting for a long time, and ended up buying out what the landlord owed left on it. And we've had, I don't know if you ever seen that movie Money Pit, but me and my wife joke all the time, because I feel like the main character in that movie, like, it's just, the house is one thing after another, and it's literally a money pit. We've been blessed, don't get me wrong, we've been blessed with the house, but yeah, it's just crazy. So one time I was just talking to God, and I'm like, God, I know you wanted me here, I know you wanted my family in this house, but you got to help us out. And I just remember clear as day the Lord saying, remember your why. When you're doing stuff in the house, and you're taking care of things that are breaking, or you're fixing something, remember your why. Remember why you're doing this. You're doing this, and you're going through, man, that sounds bright. You're going through all this hard work. You're going through all this struggle and stuff. You're doing it for your kids. Remember your why. Remember your purpose in all this. And, that really, I mean, I heard it as clear as day, like somebody was talking to me, face to face. And I was like, okay. And so I got to thinking about my job, even on the days that are good and the days that are not good, what am I doing this for? Why do I get up early in the morning and ship packages and go hustle, or go to, where I'm at now, and picking up inventory, and it's that constant recycle. Well, it's because I do it for my family. I do it for my kids. When I worked at the dealership and I worked at other places, I missed out on so much stuff. Now, it's better because, like, I work from home. I set my own hours, which there's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons to that. You can get trapped up into and I've been there too, where, you can go a whole month and be like, man, I didn't list anything on eBay. No wonder why my sales suck. But, I've also put in the hard work where, thank the Lord, every month my bills are paid. And, the Lord's really taking care of us. And with List Easier now, like, I'll text Josh and I'll text some other people, and I'm like, I'll get up at 6 a.m, go upstairs in my office, and I start the day like with a devotion, prayer, things like that. But I can knock out my shipping, knock out my 50, 60 items that I want to do for the day, and the whole other day is just customer service, sending offers, answering offers that are coming in, and go to the post office. I choose to do more. I'm learning how to work I'm learning how to create balances to where I have like a work-life balance. Because anybody who sells on eBay, is with your phone in your hand, you are constantly open. Like, there's an open flag right here for this business. That's how I feel like I am with eBay. I am completely open 24/7, 365. And sometimes I just need to turn that sign around and close it, right? Like, I'm closed for the day. And, with eBay and with List Easier, it gives me the ability to do that, to be able to be like, hey, I'm done for the day. Let's go do something. Let's So, so I'm thankful for that. And, really, really think and process, like, what is your why? Why are you doing this? If it's for the money, like Josh said, if it's for the money, it's for the wrong reasons. While Josh's video was live today, and I put the comment in there about remember your why, and Scott from Bearded Picker mentioned, remember your why as well. My daughter comes in, my youngest daughter, who's 3, and she's just got this cute little face, and she's like, can I go into Echo, and can I go in the Echo Dot and watch the show? And she's not going to be 3 forever. My other son, Hosea, is 5. My wife and I were talking yesterday. In 2 months, he's going to be 6. Time is going by like this. Remember your why. I can't wait for this winter to be over so we can go outside more. And with List Easier, I just want to be able to be like, okay, look, this is what I got to do. I already have my systems in place with ChatGPT to tell me how I'm doing to track 100,000 this year. And hey, you need to list 60 items at this average sale price. Boom. List Easier, done. So I know this was a different kind of video with me in the car, but I feel like I'm more myself if I'm focusing on like driving and then talking, or talking like that. So, but I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go grab this stuff, and I know there's a bunch of PS2 games. There's I feel like I'm spitting dust all over the place, but my mouth is very dry. But and then you'll start seeing that in a video, or not a video, but you'll see it in my eBay store coming soon. Right now I'm just blabbling. I have no bullet points to keep me focused and on track. So I'm just going to go ahead and end it here. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate everybody that's spreading the love to help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And if you can, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this with 5 friends. Pick 5 friends I know you guys can hit share with. And thank you so much. We'll talk to you on the next one.